In July 2025, the White House released America's AI Action Plan, a national security directive designed to ensure unquestioned global dominance in artificial intelligence. Within months, a Hangzhou-based startup called DeepSeek released an open-weight model that matched Western capabilities at a fraction of the cost, sending a shockwave through the industry. Watch the coverage, and you will hear this rivalry described as a clash of coders and algorithms, a digital race to build smarter software. But measuring the race by who writes the best code ignores a harsh physical reality. Artificial intelligence is a massively hungry physical entity. To judge the global race accurately, we have to look at the machines themselves. The steady evolution of software is now dwarfed by the demand for compute, the raw processing power required to train massive models. Despite vast ecosystems and capital, neither the United States nor China has sovereign control over the infrastructure to sustain this demand. The center of gravity in this race lies within a physical supply chain bottleneck. At the macro scale, compute requires sovereign data centers covering millions of square feet, pulling enough electricity to power small cities. Those sprawling facilities are essentially empty warehouses without thousands of specialized graphics processing units, or GPUs, running non-stop inside them. Curious, leaning in, strip away the data center roof, pull out a server blade, and dismantle a GPU, and you are left with a single, raw logic semiconductor. Manufacturing this specific tier of silicon involves etching billions of transistors onto a single sliver with nanometer-level precision, a process with zero margin for error. A nation's AI capability is ultimately capped by the physical volume of this raw silicon it can acquire. Trace the hardware needs of American hyperscalers and Chinese research labs backward, and those sprawling supply chains narrow down to one island, Taiwan. Almost all of these advanced chips are physically printed by a single entity, the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, or TSMC. Operating with a 67% market share in the foundry business, TSMC holds a global monopoly on the hardware necessary for frontier AI development. Rival nations cannot simply build alternative factories overnight. Decades of investment have created a localized, hyper-dense network of specialized engineers and suppliers that trillions of dollars fail to replicate. Whoever controls Taiwan's manufacturing output dictates the physical speed limit of the global AI revolution. Taiwan has leveraged this manufacturing monopoly into a defense strategy known as the Silicon Shield, making the world dependent on its exports to deter aggression. The sudden explosion in demand for compute has supercharged this dynamic, evolving that defense into a critical AI shield. As this chart shows, any military blockade against Taiwan would trigger an estimated $10 trillion plunge in global GDP, instantly freezing AI development worldwide. Taiwan has successfully converted its most glaring geographic vulnerability into the 21st century's ultimate geopolitical deterrent. The United States drafts sweeping executive orders and pours billions into digital policy, yet it must continuously wait for physical shipments from Taipei. Chinese developers execute algorithmic breakthroughs that shock the world, yet they remain tethered to an external supply chain they do not control. The growth of digital intelligence remains physically tethered to a single island in the Pacific. While Washington and Beijing fight over the direction of the algorithms, Taiwan silently controls the hardware that allows those algorithms to exist.